All right, we're live for episode number 52 of the Illini Basketball Podcast as we get set for tomorrow night's game against Nebraska. It's a late night game or later night, 8 o'clock Friday night game. So the second time that they'll be doing one of those in the last couple of weeks because they played that. I guess that was probably it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago they played Iowa on that Friday night. So I don't know. I mean, Nebraska played last night. They're playing 4 games in 7 days, a completely ballsy move by them, although they really have nothing to lose because if they beat somebody, it's like, oh, my God, they won a Big Ten game. And then if they lose, it's like, yeah, they're terrible. What do you expect?
right. And I give them a lot of credit because I was watching the game last night against Wisconsin. They played, and they said that there's a rule that you can't have something 7 days in a row. So they actually had to take the day off before and couldn't practice or anything. So to have all these games and do that, that's good for them, you know?
Yeah. So Illinois comes into this game 13-5, 9-3 in the Big Ten. They've won 4 games in a row. Is it 4 or is it 5? I think it's 4.
4
or 5
in a row.
I don't know. They've won multiple games in a row. So Nebraska's 4-11 overall and 0-8 in the Big Ten. This game's on Big Ten Network tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. This is going to be, the start of the final stretch for Illinois. And they have, 5 or 6, maybe 7 games on the schedule left. So this is where you get going. You start here. They got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left. 2 of those games against Nebraska, 3 of them total against the bottom 2 teams in the Big Ten. So they should be in good shape to finish with a good record and get a good seed as long as they just keep going and keep doing what they're doing. Don't, try to do too much. Don't be the way they were early in the season. You can't do that. It says on here, Adam Miller had a knee land on his finger, and he's back to normal for tomorrow.
Yeah. At the end of the last game, I don't know if a lot of people saw it, but he went off the court. Looked like he was in pain. So luckily, nothing major, and he will be back. I'm sure he'll shoot 6, 7 threes tomorrow. So,
and his shot can't get much worse than it already is. So this should be fine.
Right.
And also, I completely forgot everything that happened on Saturday. So it's kind of how it is now. I don't know, with this weird scheduling, they're not playing a lot of games within like 4 or 5 days of each other. Recently, they haven't been. So like the day after a game, I almost forget everything. After we do the episode, I forget everything that happened. So that's good. Nebraska, like I said, 4 games in 7 days. They lost to Minnesota on Monday. They lost to Wisconsin last night. They scored 48 points last night. They're just not good. And you'll find out why as we talk about them, because if you want to talk about a team that doesn't have any chemistry, this is that team. They had a COVID pause. Every single one of their starters is a transfer. So we'll talk more about them. But if you go into the haslametrically speaking portion of this, it's not close, and it shouldn't be. And this is what it is. Illinois 5th overall, Nebraska's 136th. Offensive efficiency, Illinois 15, Nebraska 221. And defensive efficiency, Illinois 7th, Nebraska 85th. And, I just think that Nebraska's defense being that much better than their offense just tells me that they play harder and they know that they're not going to be a better team going into the game than anyone that they play in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and they stuck into that game last night. Last night was probably the first time I've seen Nebraska play at all. It wasn't pretty, but they were only down 3 at half, and then they just stopped missing, or they stopped making shots. But they started off like something ridiculous from 3, like 4 of 6 from 3 or something like that. So.
Yeah, Wisconsin as well. Wisconsin has been killing themselves by not making threes. Like they missed 20 of 24 threes against Illinois. Yeah. And last night they started out horribly. So not good for them, but who cares? We don't like Wisconsin. All right, strength of schedule. Now, Nebraska's strength of schedule has been really hard. So on top of the fact they had COVID issues and they have a ton of transfers in their roster, they're 21st in strength of schedule. Illinois is 9th. Expected outcome, Illinois 80.31, Nebraska 64.55. So projection, a 16-point win. I would say they're undoubtedly more talented this year than they were last year, but they're just a worse team. It's the transfer thing, I think. No chemistry. They have good players. I mean, they have a couple of guys that were big transfers. Like Trey McGowan's was a guy we talked about for Illinois, and he ended up going there.
Yeah, and maybe it's a lot to, the COVID thing and, teams not getting together over the summer. Probably it's kind of like the 5 stars that are playing at Kentucky and Duke and struggling. Just hard to get anything going when you have that many transfers coming in.
And you look at the top teams in the country right now are veteran teams. I would consider Illinois that, considering their 2 best players. One of them is an upperclassman. The other one is a 21-year-old sophomore. So, and Baylor and Gonzaga are the same way, even though Gonzaga, one of their best players is a freshman. But the veteran teams are doing well. Michigan's that too, I think. Wagner and Livers have been there for a while. They have big transfers with Smith and Brown, and then they have Dickinson's a good freshman there. So a lot of these top teams are similar in the way that they're built. And Nebraska is just that they have guys they have 4 upperclassmen starting, but they're all transfers. They never played together before. They haven't played together much. So their last win was December 17th against Doane of the NAIA, and they beat
good
them
old
by
Doane. Where is that even at? I assume in Nebraska, right? That'd be a close game.
I'm going to look that up, but I'm not sure because I looked at their schedule. And man, that Doane team is terrible in their own league. They lose to like everybody. They are, they have on their page, they were national qualifiers for like 8 different years. And the last time they made the NAIA tournament was 99. So their program is no good. They are in Nebraska. Yeah. Crete, Nebraska.
Okay.
1014 Boswell Avenue. You can call them at 800-333-6263.
Might check it out.
That's the last time they won a game. So it's been well over a month and coming up on 2 months if they don't win tomorrow or Sunday. All right. Their wins and losses, though. Like I said, they have a lot of quality losses. I mean, obviously, they're not a team that you're going to look at their resume because nobody cares. But their wins are over McNeese, North Dakota State, South Dakota, and Doane. So no win that is anywhere near like – that's probably all quad 4 wins, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's not good. Maybe one of them is a quad 3. I don't know. But they have pretty good losses. I mean, Nevada is a solid Mountain West team. Georgia Tech's a solid ACC team. Creighton is going to be a tournament team in the Big East. And Wisconsin, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana, Michigan State, again, Minnesota, Wisconsin. So they've lost to every good Big Ten team that they've played. Yeah. And then they lost to some good non-conference teams. 2 of the 3 non-conference teams they lost to will probably make the tournament.
Yeah. And they haven't been on – I mean, some of them have been blowouts, but, they lost to Nevada by 3, Georgia Tech by 9 or 11, Indiana by 8. So they're not terrible. They're just, but they're not good.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It's a team you don't want Illinois to do what they do sometimes and not show up in the first half and get in a hole and then have to dig out of it, because you can't overlook teams and in the Big Ten, regardless of if they haven't won a conference game, regardless of if they have 4 wins, you still have to show up.
Yeah, the thing, like I think last year when they played, I think it was actually a fairly, close game in the first half. I mean, it was only a 12-point game, but Illinois was up 6 at the half, and then they gave up 28 points in the second half and won the game by 12. But, that game was weird because I think that was the game where Trent hit that half-court 3 or full-court 3, basically is what it was. Made it a 6-point game instead of a 3-point game. So Nebraska hung around with them. Of course, last year's Nebraska team has literally nothing to do with that because none of the players on this year's team in the lineup played against Illinois last year. So, but I mean, all their Big Ten opponents are tournament-likely teams other than Michigan State. So they haven't played Northwestern. They haven't played, like I said, Penn State. They play Sunday. So, yeah, their projected starting 5. Teddy Allen, a 6'6" junior, transfer from West Virginia, averaging 17 points. He's their best player this season, undoubtedly. Trey McGowan, so we mentioned earlier, is a 6'4" junior transfer from Pitt, averaging 11 points, 4 boards. Delano Banton, who is a 6'9", 204 sophomore, transfer from Western Kentucky, averaging 11 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Then you have, don't know how to say this, Lot Man, a 6'9", 205 junior, 8 points, 4 boards in the season, transfer from TCU and Chipola College. Very exciting. Derek Walker is their last player in the lineup, 6'8", 232 junior, 6 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, transfer from Tennessee. So they have length, but they don't have very much, how do you say, weight. So this is a Kofi game. Once again, like most are, he outweighs their entire lineup. If you look at the closest guy, it's like a 60-pound difference. So they have length. So I'm assuming we're going to have the same lineup. You're going to probably have Io versus Teddy Allen. You'll probably have McGowan's and Trent, I guess, even though it's I wonder if they're like tempted to not start Miller in this game and get like someone who could guard a 6'9" guy in there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they'll worry about it that much, but
well, you got Grandison can guard the other one of the 6'9" guys, then Kofi on the 6'8", 230 guy.
And you put Io on somebody.
Yeah, you'll probably have to put Io on. I didn't think about that. Even though, I mean, Teddy Allen's their best player. Maybe you just throw Miller on him. It's not that big of a 3-inch difference, probably.
Yeah.
In terms of height, and Miller has been a pretty good defender this season overall. I don't know. Frazier, McGowan's, and then Grandison against Mahan, and then Ben and Io probably.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only thing that you have to worry about, Teddy Allen, shoots 36% from 3. So you got to make sure that you can close out on him.
Who's the best closer outer on Illinois?
I'm going to go with none of them, sadly.
If you had to pick one that's the least worst, who would you say?
The least worst? Probably Trent, but he's too short, I think, to guard Teddy Allen.
Where does Miller rank in terms of closing out?
Probably third.
Then he can do it. I mean, whatever.
Sure.
Screw it.
Sure.
Yeah. So basically their lineup is full of players who didn't get to get any playing time at the bigger, better Power 6 schools.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia, Pitt isn't really better than most of the Big Ten. They're not very good, but they're better than Nebraska. And then you have TCU, Tennessee. So, yeah, this is a makeshift lineup of a bunch of players. And the Fred Hoiberg era has been horrible there. So I don't know if it's going to get much better. I think they have a 5-star coming in next year there. I think I read something about that. How is it that they can get a 5-star and Illinois can't?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, actually, I think I wonder if this is Trey McGowan's brother, Bryce McGowan's shooting guard. 5-star. He's number 21 nationally. He's got to be, right? I got to find this.
I mean, I don't.
Why can't I have a 5-star brother or something like that?
True.
Makes no sense. Yeah, that's definitely his brother. They're both from South Carolina. Yeah, so somehow they have a 5-star and a 4-star. Illinois has 1 4-star. Their 4-star is a great name. I think I said Wilhelm Beldenschlock or something. That's pretty cool.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, and in terms of recruiting, I just want to get this out of the way before we get more into Nebraska. Michigan's class next year is so good that I don't know how anyone's going to compete with Michigan next year.
Yeah.
What is it, 2 5-stars, 3 4-stars?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We're in trouble. Anyway, we'll get to Michigan later. There's a lot of stuff going on. I got some things to say about that. None of their starting 5 played against Illinois last season. Like I said, Illinois won that game by 12. That was February 24th. So one of their 4 last games probably before everything shut down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Underwood said that we can't fall into the trap of shooting 35 threes in the road.
Yeah. He talked about how Nebraska likes to keep the ball outside. And I mean, with 3 guys, 6'8" and taller, if they collapse on Kofi, it might be tough for them, but definitely got to keep pounding into him. So
I think all he needs to do is just keep the ball high and get fouled or dunk it.
Yep. Absolutely.
And make your free throws. He also completely dodged this one.
Yeah, he was asked about Frazier and DeMonte Williams coming back, and all he said was Nebraska. So
I don't really see a reason why at least one of them doesn't come back. I mean, what else are they going to do? Maybe one of them. I don't know if one of them would actually want to transfer.
Yeah, and I just don't know how that works. I don't think they've clarified if you had to have open scholarships for these guys. I think there's still way too many unanswered questions about
The big
all
thing
that,
is,
so,
I think we're going to see a ton of movement in the summer in
yeah.
terms of guys just transferring. Like,
Oh,
I
I agree. Yeah.
that's probably a very important thing for Illinois if they could get a big transfer like Namari Burnett and make that happen. We'll find out.
Mhm.
So, prediction wise, we did something the same.
I don't think we've ever done this. You text me and asked what my prediction was, and I said 83-68, and then you said LOL. I said why LOL? I assumed, but yeah. So you think the same as me?
I was tempted to make it like 83-58.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Nebraska, if they're not shooting, as of you could see last night, they scored 48 points and against, I would say, an inferior Wisconsin team, but I mean, inferior to Illinois. So, especially on the defensive end, but
yeah, and Illinois is much more athletic than Wisconsin, and Illinois can get up and go. They talked about it on the broadcast on Saturday. Illinois is like the fastest team in the Big Ten. Wisconsin's like the slowest. So this different opponent for Nebraska. And like I said, the Hoiberg era, disastrous start. Terrible. I don't know what the hell happened there, but not good. Not what happened at Iowa State when he was there. So let's get into some news and notes around the Illini as we have Io and Kofi, unsurprisingly named to the 2021 Naismith Trophy midseason team. And there is 8 Big Ten players on this team. I will name the Big Ten players. None of them are surprising. Okay. Marcus Carr, you have Io and Kofi, you have Hunter Dickinson, Luka Garza, Trace Jackson Davis, EJ Liddell, Trevion Williams is the 8. So Trevion Williams is a little surprising, I guess, for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean he's a good player. I just don't know what his numbers are this year.
I think it's a numbers thing, definitely. In terms of what they're looking at for the most part. I mean, a lot of these guys on here are averaging a lot of points. And, I don't really think there's any names on here that I wouldn't put on here. Shout out to Cameron Krutwig, Loyola Chicago made the list. Big shout out. And the other like non-Power 6 players to make it, you have Grimes from Houston. You have obviously, the Gonzaga players, whatever. And then Bassie from Western Kentucky. But there's no other conference that has that close to 8. I mean, the Big 12 has like 5 or 6. They, helped themselves out by putting Davion Mitchell in there as he belongs, obviously. Not even close. You kidding me? Did you see the Texas Tech West Virginia game?
Yes.
It was like Illinois, Indiana 2.0.
Yeah.
49 fouls.
Yeah.
Glad they're ruining the game.
Mess.
It's fun. So Illinois is still sitting at number 4 in the net rankings. The top 4 is obviously Baylor, Gonzaga, Michigan, and whoever else I was thinking of. Illinois. So the committee will unveil their top 16 on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on CBS. Where do you think Illinois is going to be in the top 16?
I would say 5 would be my guess.
Yeah, I was thinking 5 or 6. I think it's all going to depend on whether – because I think the top 4 is going to be Baylor, Gonzaga, Michigan, Ohio State, and then it's whether it's Villanova at 5 or Villanova at 6, and then Illinois at 5 or Illinois at 6.
Right. And
as long as Illinois wins tomorrow, that's the big thing here. You got to win.
So what's Villanova in the net? Are they ahead of Illinois?
No.
So then that's why I think it's going to be Illinois 5.
Villanova is 9th in the net. Ohio State's 7th. Virginia is 6th. Houston is 5th.
Yeah, I would say they fall at 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they should be at 5. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't be 5 or 6 if they win tomorrow and they're anything other than 5 or 6. I'd be surprised. Yeah. So, of course, the committee does find a way to mess this up usually. So Last year's top 16 in the top 4 was Baylor, Kansas, Gonzaga, San Diego State. Pretty sure Kansas and San Diego State will not make the cut, but Baylor and Gonzaga will. And I think Dayton was 5th, and I think that was a point where Illinois wasn't really even close because that was kind of before they really got hot. I'd say they were probably like 15-10 at that point, maybe, or 16-10 on the season. So, yeah, they'll be in there this year, though, I think, as long as they don't screw tomorrow up. RJ Melendez, player we've been talking about, and I just skipped something, so give me a second.
Yeah, you're good.
The remaining schedule for the Illini on February 16th, which is, of course, 5 days from now, which is Tuesday, they will play Northwestern again. So maybe Northwestern will seek revenge for getting outscored by 40 points in the second half against Illinois in January. We'll see. Then I think one of the most important games left, other than the Ohio State game, is at Minnesota on the 20th. And that's a big game for Minnesota because Minnesota is like a home-only team.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost one game at home, I think. Have they lost one? I think they've lost one game at home. But they are a big-time discrepancy in terms of their home and road record. They'll play Michigan State on the 23rd. That's at Michigan State. They'll play Wisconsin again at Wisconsin on the 27th. And then I guess they don't have a date for this yet. Either March 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, they'll play Nebraska in Champaign. And then they'll finish the year on March 6th, which is a Saturday against Ohio State. I hope that game's on CBS. That's a perfect CBS game.
Yeah.
And who doesn't like CBS for that, you know?
And I don't think there's any way that the Big Ten doesn't reschedule the Illinois-Michigan game. So
I don't know.
There's no way. If they're 1-2 in the Big Ten, there's no way they don't reschedule it.
Yeah, the Ohio State game is ESPN, so that sucks completely. No CBS games. So let me ask you this. If they do reschedule Illinois-Michigan, would it have to be on the same network it was supposed to be on? I figured it has to be, right?
Yeah, I would think.
Because it's supposed to be on ESPN last time, and I'm assuming if they reschedule it would be, but it sucks it's not going to be on CBS. That does suck. But if they make it to the Big Ten Tournament Championship, they'll play on CBS, which is the best network to play college basketball on. So there you go. Okay. RJ Melendez, a wing, which is what Illinois could use.
Yeah. Apparently, Brad Sturdy, Derek Piper, and Ryan Evan have all put in. Well, Derek Piper has put in his crystal ball. Brad Sturdy and Ryan Evan have said that he's going. Ryan Evan does his Swami picks. So we will see, but they have him coming to Illinois. Another class of 2021 to join Luke Goody, which Illinois only has Luke Goody right now. So would be a good pickup. He's a 4-star, 6'5", small forward, 190 pounds from Kissimmee, Florida, and he ranks in the top 100 nationally at 97. So he's been having a really good season, I believe. And they're also, going after another wing, I believe. I forgot his name. It's like Pitadowski.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name, so I don't really know anything about him.
Yeah,
but he has a cool name.
Yeah, yep. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I believe that he's not going to sign until the spring, so we still got a little while.
Well, their big competition for him is like Alabama, DePaul, FAU, Georgia Tech, Iowa State, Mercer, Nebraska, Oklahoma State, South Florida, Virginia Tech have all offered him, and Illinois seems to be in on him the most. Mm-hmm. So they have Antigua on him, and they're quote-unquote warm on 247 with him. So what does he do well?
Very warm. He can handle the ball for a wing, which I think, I like Grandison, but his ball handling skills don't impress me as much. And he's really good at cutting to the basket. So it's just going to be another guy that they can develop. It'll be interesting with Grandison and Hutcherson. I probably said that backwards because I always do.
Nothing wrong with that.
where he's going to fit in, if he's, if he'll play immediately. But, I think that this is a kid that played on the Puerto Rico under 19 team with Curbelo. So he has experience playing with Curbelo. So, I think it's a good fit for Illinois.
Yeah. Someone said that his IQ is his best thing that he does, and passing the ball and athleticism and such. So
IQ's always
that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Before we get to anything else, I wanted to talk about where some people have had Illinois in the top 25, all the AP voters. And I think the lowest guy is this Jack Ebling fellow who has Illinois at 15.
Wow.
I mean, what are you doing, Jack?
Who is this guy?
WSYM. How the hell does he have a vote? Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Villanova, Ohio State, Houston, Virginia, Oklahoma, Virginia Tech at 9. Are you high? Alabama. Oh, this is one of those skeletons that still has Kansas in there. What an idiot. Dickie V has Illinois at 9. Not sure what he's on, but
ouch.
Yeah, most people have him in the top 10. There's a few that don't, which is ridiculous, but whatever. I don't really care too much about it. I was just interested to see who votes for who. And I know a guy that covers Missouri on here has Illinois at 6 and Missouri at 9. Interesting. Covers Missouri, but going with the Illini. Rothstein has Illinois at 6 behind Villanova, who's at 5. Okay, Rothstein. Okay. He doesn't have Loyola Chicago in there. What are you doing?
That's your team too. I think aren't you starting a Loyola Chicago podcast or something?
Might have to at this point. I mean, it's kind of the way
guy that would probably do one with you.
The player Krutwig.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I figured, yeah.
Anyways, you got any other ones?
I don't see any names on here that I care about, so.
Okay.
Seth Davis has him at 5, but Seth Davis is an idiot and a loser, so. Anyway, yeah, there's 2 people named Lauren that vote for this. I found that interesting. 2 Kevins.
2 Kevins.
2 Scotts.
Okay.
3 Johns. 3 Jeffs. Oh boy. 2 Davids. 3 Daves. Wow. So very exciting.
Sounds like it.
Round the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Michigan women's team playing tonight.
Yeah. So everybody, I've had a few guys. I had a guy text me today. I had somebody tell me yesterday about how they couldn't believe Michigan's women's team is playing and the men's team's not. Michigan's Twitter's going all over the place saying that they're not scared. Oh, Illinois is just a bunch of babies, blah blah blah. But I don't get why the women can play tonight, but the men can't. They say that's fans are saying because of the women's schedule they can't, but seems like a bunch of baloney to me. But
I'm so tired of this Michigan thing. I really am. I mean, Illinois fans, I don't want to call out our own fans, but I think I have to because shut up, I mean, everybody's talking about how Michigan's scared to play Illinois. They're not. They're just not.
Yeah.
And I don't know why these Illini fans are all so high and mighty already. I mean, calm down. Haven't even played a tournament game since the Gross era.
I just think that they are upset because why does Michigan get special treatment?
I get why they're upset, but I really don't think that it's that. I think that anyone would get if Illinois had a 2-week pause and wanted to cancel more games to get practicing, they would let them.
And I'd be fine with it. And I think that Underwood put it well. He said right now we're happy just playing. I don't think we should ever lose sight of safety and well-being. I think that runs in a lot of areas, not just COVID. So, players getting back, players that haven't played for 2 weeks, getting enough practice in to be okay to go. And as an Illinois fan, do we want to play them when they are technically, they'd be down? I'm not saying they would be down, but after a 2-week pause, and then would we brag about it as Illinois fans? I'd rather play them, at the end of the season when it's for the Big Ten championship regular season title. If it comes down to that, what a cap to the Big Ten race that would be if that's what it comes down to. Illinois 1 or Michigan's 1, Illinois 2, and they're battling it out.
Got to get through Ohio State first.
Oh, I agree. They're going to have to beat Ohio State. They're going to have to beat Minnesota. They're still going to have to win games. But if that's what it came to, I would rather see that than see Michigan come out sluggish and not get them at their best. I'd rather play them at their best than play them after a little pause. So
I agree. Illinois is going to have at least 7 games left, and if they have the Michigan game, that's 8. I mean, in these last 7 games, they got to go at least 6-1 if they want a chance at the Big Ten title, and 5-2 if they want to have a really good seed.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair.
Just win. That's all I would say. And I don't really – I don't know why all these Illini fans that are mad about this are talking like Illinois is the greatest historical Big Ten team ever. Come on.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with being proud of your team, though.
Well, I think people have gotten a little too annoying about it at this point. We're still talking.
You just now become an Illinois fan? You know how Illinois fans are.
I get that, but I'm just not, I'm not hung up on Michigan. I could care less. Actually, I really don't care. I just think that whatever happens, happens. I'm not expecting the Big Ten to ever do anything smart. I don't know why some people are. That's weird to me. Mm-hmm. But I know the game was supposed to be today, so Illinois fans are still going how Michigan's scared to play Illinois and all that stuff, which,
that's right.
We got to remember.
Right, they're scared.
You got to remember this. Illinois had that year. I think it was a gross year. I think it might have been.
They were all gross years when he was here.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. When Gross was here, maybe I think that whenever Michigan had to play Illinois in their practice jerseys and still beat the F out of them.
After a plane wreck or something.
Oh my God, yeah. So they got that on us too.
Uh-huh.
Plus 89, which was a scam, but we won't go into that. But I just think that some certain hashtag Illini people, which most of which are fair weather fans. So when it's correct to be all proud about Illinois' history, they do it, and they won't shut up about it.
Right.
But
it's kind of like Cardinal fans.
Well, Cardinal fans actually have 11 titles. The Illini have 0. But I don't know why you're making me go after the Illini even more now. It's a little unfair for you. But, the Illini fans are saying Michigan's scared. You're just starting pointless fights, and all Michigan fans have to do is say 1989, right? That's all I have to do, which sucks. But, or they have to say, we beat you when we had practice jerseys on after a plane crash. And then Illinois could counter, hey, you want to go recency? We beat you twice last year, which is good.
Yeah.
But all these Illini fans acting like Io's buzzer beater, crushed the souls of Michigan fans forever. Calm down. It was a great moment, and it probably one of his best moments at Illinois. But calm down.
Yep.
So
now that you put all the fans in place,
I didn't. I said certain hashtag Illini fans, which I think most people that like the Illini don't like hashtag Illini fans.
You're probably right.
And I was much more into tweeting that kind of stuff last season than this season.
Mm-hmm.
So I've taken the opposite approach. I'm not going to be all negative and talk about how, Io sucks because he's scored 10 points in a game and they still won, but Io sucks. Or, Adam Miller haters who are haters for no reason,
right.
That kind of stuff. But, Illinois and Michigan should be playing tonight, but they're not. Nothing we could do. Hopefully Wisconsin beats them. So,
just from the last time we had from our last podcast, I believe it was on Sunday. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, it was.
They all run together. Indiana beat Iowa for the second time this year. Pretty impressive by them. So Iowa is sliding a little bit, but they did bounce back with a win against Rutgers, 79-66 last night.
Yeah.
Last night, okay. And then Ohio State had a pretty close game with Maryland. Ended up winning by 8. So Ohio State is sitting a game back of Illinois, or half game back, I guess. And
with the tiebreaker right now, right? So
yeah, but so Illinois is 9-3, Ohio State's 10-4. I believe Ohio State plays Saturday against Indiana, and then they play Penn State, Michigan State, Iowa, Illinois again. So they have a pretty tough run for them. We'll see what happens, how it all shakes out. But that's where we're at now. I believe I believe the Michigan-Wisconsin game is still on as of now.
I don't know why it wouldn't be.
So, yeah, that's Saturday. No.
It would Saturday be pretty ridiculous if it didn't happen. I'm not 100% sure when it is.
It is Sunday at noon. So
that's a big game right there.
Big Valentine's Day game.
Nobody knows what.
So we'll see. We'll see how rusty Michigan is, if they're rusty at all. If the extra week of practice helped them. We'll see what happens. But.
Put Ohio State on upset watch against Indiana. It's a big game for Indiana. Ohio State's been playing a little too well lately, due to lose one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see. Or maybe Penn State can let people get back on the old Penn State's good narrative, even though they're terrible, and beat Ohio State.
Yeah, Penn State lost to Michigan State. Battle of the
horrible game
of the 4-win teams.
Both of those teams suck. I mean, terrible. If we had to rank, because I think I sent you this text, the 4 blue blood programs that suck this year. Because you can't really count Kansas because they're probably going to make the tournament.
Yeah.
But, Kentucky, I think, is the best team out of those 4 just because they have had so many games in the SEC where they should have finished. Tennessee, they couldn't finish. Arkansas, they got screwed by the refs at the end. They couldn't finish. North Carolina, I would put 2nd. I would put Duke 3rd and Michigan State 4th probably. I mean, Duke sucks, and Kentucky is not. None of those 4 teams are good. Maybe North Carolina is the best. Kentucky's the second best, probably, I would say, just because Kentucky's, 5-13. So it's a good year for college basketball. You're going to have a champion that's probably not one of those 4 teams unless North Carolina makes a magical run, which is impossible, I think. But, we'll see a different champion unless Virginia or Villanova wins. But, it'll be interesting. Maybe the Big Ten finally gets one. We'll never know. Unless Illinois gets the job done, which I could see maybe happening. Illinois beats Gonzaga in the Final Four. Then we're talking. Illinois-Baylor rematch of the championship. That game would suck going into it. Because we would be just, oh, God, we got to face this defense again. How the hell are we going to do it? Iowa scores 50, legendary moment. Illinois wins. All right. Episode 52 is in the books. 53 will be next Monday.
Monday should work.
Or Tuesday, because they play Tuesday. We could just do it on the game day, but we'll be back next week and then all that stuff. It's a big stretch run. We'll also be back. I guess we will be doing the countdown to March Madness on Monday, so I don't know if we do the Illini before that or whatever. We'll find out what we're doing at some point, but you can follow the Twitter at Podcast Illini. And I actually forgot that I didn't put the ticker up for the entire episode, so a bad job by me. We'll be back episode 53 next week. We'll see you then.